This afternoon with us, Mrs. Sharon Clark Rowley, Spotlight Champion for Trinidad and Tobago. The Honorable Ayanna Webster Roy, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister with the responsibility for Gender and Child Affairs. His Excellency Arif Koshani, High Commissioner for Canada to the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. His Excellency Peter Cavendish, Ambassador of the EU Delegation in Trinidad and Tobago. The Honorable Justice Lisa Ramsey Hines, High Court Judge. Ms. Joanna Kasana, United Nations Resident Coordinator. Ms. Tony Brodber, Representative of UN Women Multi-Country Office Caribbean. Mr. Hugo Blanco, Resident Representative UNDP. Permanent Secretaries and Deputy Permanent Secretaries of the Office of the Prime Minister, National AIDS Coordinating Committee, Gender and Child Affairs Division and Central Administrative Services, Tobago. Ms. Joan Yule Williams, Advisor to the Prime Minister. Our inimitable Michelle Yan Hart, Director for the Gender Affairs Division, senior government officials and heads of departments, staff of our development partners, representatives from CSOs, Dr. Daphne Phillip, specially invited guests, members of the media. Welcome. How you all feeling? Oh gosh, that means you're not fed. There will be food after. And some of you all exercise the privilege to drink some coffee or tea before we start this afternoon's proceedings. So my name is Amilka Sanat, and I'm the Assistant Director for Gender Affairs. And the Master of Ceremonies is a very sophisticated title. I would see myself as the voice of transition. So I'm happy to welcome you all. I said good afternoon. Buenas tardes a todos. Welcome to the launch of the NSAP on GBV and SV in Trinidad and Tobago, hosted by Gender and Child Affairs in the Office of the Prime Minister in partnership with UN Women and the European Delegation to Trinidad and Tobago. The NSAP on gender-based violence and sexual violence is one of the many achievements of the Spotlight Initiative. One of them, the Spotlight Initiative, was a commitment of the European Union recognizing gender equality as a precondition for the achievement of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Big up. This initiative sought to redress all forms of violence against women and girls. In Trinidad and Tobago, there was a specific focus on responding to family violence, gender-based violence, and sexual violence, and transforming harmful gender beliefs. What does the term femicide mean? Femicide refers to an extreme form of manifestation of violence against women and girls. It is an intentional killing of women driven by harmful gender stereotypes and expectations. What does gender-based violence mean? Why is this a national development challenge? These issues are structural problems. And the Spotlight Initiative brought together public sector, civil society, trade unions, development partners to effectively respond to these issues in a coordinated and evidence-based approach. As we prepare to observe and commemorate International Women's Day on Friday, the 8th of March, the government of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago agrees to promote the theme, Invest in Women, to accelerate the progress and the protection of the rights of women and girls. For this reason, the launch of the NSAP on gender-based violence and sexual violence is timely. At the end of today's launch, participants will be able to, 1, discuss the broad aims, principles, and mission of NSAP. On your table, you would see QR codes. You use your mobile phones. Looking at the youth in this audience, everybody's comfortable with phones. You take your phone out, you have the Wi-Fi, go on the QR code, you match it, and you will have access to the full National Strategic Action Plan on gender-based violence and sexual violence. The second item is that you'll be able to identify key action items and thematic areas in the NSAP on GBV and SV that could foster collaboration and support. But third, we want you all to reflect on the evolving needs and issues of women, girls, men, and boys related to gender-based violence and sexual violence, which we will facilitate in the question and answer today. Today is an important day in the social history of an independent Trinidad and Tobago and the longer movement for women's rights and gender equality that brave and bold champions struggle to improve the conditions of all, especially this nation's women and girls. The NSAP on gender-based violence and sexual violence is the largest public investment and most coordinated state response to the problem of gender-based violence and sexual violence in Trinidad and Tobago. So give yourself a round of applause for you who have been part of the architects of this National Strategic Action Plan. I take this moment to summon the name of Audrey Jeffers, pioneering social worker, activist, and elected representative on the Port of Spain City Council. In 1938, Jeffers, as part of the coterie of social workers, submitted a memorandum to the West India Royal Commission. It outlined proposals for the establishment of a girls' college, promoted the equal opportunities for girls to complete island scholarships, and encouraged training for young women to pursue careers in nursing, music, secretarial studies, and agricultural work. The road to gender equality has been a long one, from Jeffers to the many leaders who came before and those that will come after. We must invest our resources, human, social, political, and financial, to create a society where women, girls, men, and boys have the right to live in peace and enjoy equal opportunities to explore their full human potential. So, welcome to the launch of the National Strategic Action Plan on Gender-Based Violence and Sexual Violence. And now, I would like to invite the Spotlight Champion, Mrs. Sharon Clark-Rowley, to the stage.